is irrefutable. Our consciousness continues beyond our physical bodies. My Life Beyond study is strictly a volunteer program.
So why can some people see ghosts?
The strong connection between Rio and his father brought them together, and the rest is, well, history in the making.
So congrats to the movie. Full disclosure, it's my favorite movie so far this year. It's fantastic. Both of your performances are amazing. It was curious because I was just reading a book that was quite similar. I don't know if you read much. It's called Orpheus Builds a Girl. It's quite a similar thing. Like this guy who goes on to be a scientist. He sees a ghost when he was a kid, and kind of he works his way up into the into kind of becoming this scientist who kind of.
Oh wow! No,
so it was just a happy coincidence. Yeah, so I just really enjoyed it a lot more than I probably would have done if I hadn't been reading that at the same time. But no, it's a fantastic movie. So the first thing, obviously, I imagine a lot of people have asked you about that. There's definitely some kind of Mike Flanagan influence going on there now, because there's a lot of people involved in this film that are all involved in other stuff that you've been involved with, Mike. No?
Yeah, it's true. I mean, yeah, there's no secret. Like, Mike sent me Marley's script. Marley was a producer on some of Mike's films, so that there was a link there already. And obviously Katie Parker and Mike had a relationship where they've been working together, and a friendship they've had for years. And Karen as well, who happens to be one of Marley's good friends, also was connected to Mike. But there's also an iZombie connection there as well, because I got my girl Rose with me.
Right.
And Tongai, who played Rose's love interest on iZombie, was also in the movie. So there was a lot of cross pollinations going on. But yeah, and I mean, it's dealing with the supernatural element. And for the last 3-4 years, I've solidly been collaborating with Mike. So, you know,
but at the same time, this must have felt like a kind of a respite for you, because I know that I was watching, you did an interview with Alex Zane a while back, and you were like, you said that you just can't stand watching horror movies. So this must have felt kind of a bit of respite for you as well, no?
Yeah, I have changed actually since then. I've got a sort of began an appreciation for the genre. It stemmed from personal relationships with people that make horror, and feeling bad that I fully, I mean, actors do it all the time. They voice video games and then they're like, I don't fucking play, I don't know, and it winds me up. So I felt like I was probably doing the same thing with horror. So like, we recently met Cargill, and he wrote The Black Phone, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna watch that. And I've been making a conscious effort to kind of watch more. Basically, I was always a sci-fi horror fan. Like, I liked Aliens thing. But yeah, the more kind of traditional horror was something I didn't really dabble in, but I have done since then.
Something that was really really intrigued me about this film specifically was the fact that it kind of deals with life and afterlife and the kind of the meaning of life, but the fact that there was an American character, your co-star, and then you were this English guy who'd moved over there, which kind of felt almost in a way, almost kind of a bit like how you ended up over there yourself. Now, you kind of wanted to make something of yourself, and you kind of got fed up with all these auditions over in the UK, and you ended up having a lot more success over in the US now. Yeah, I
think a Wikipedia page or someone's betrayed that, because that's not the truth. The truth was I was stuck in the UK, and I was auditioning solidly, and no one really wanted to fuck with me. This is the truth. Like, they didn't think I was particularly good at anything. So what they did think I was good at was doing adverts. But no one wanted to give me a line of dialogue until iZombie was struggling to find someone to play the Doctor. And the auditions, the casting net got bigger and bigger and bigger until it reached our shores. And I just was put on tape and sent off to America, and then I booked one of the lead roles, and they flew me out to Vancouver. And so that was it. It's not like I didn't do the whole, I'm done with the UK.
Kind of the opposite. No, they were kind of done with you.
Yeah. And the US saved my life. And I need to grow up a little bit, because I'm a petty person, and I don't forgive easily. So I'm kind of like, whenever jobs in the UK come up, I'm like, oh really? Nah. But I'll grow up.
But it's understandable though, man. I mean, if you've been treated like that, it's understandable that you kind of feel like that. It's not particularly petty.
Yeah, it's tough to feel like I'm very happy right now, and had some real good success and fortune with this career. And it's I still in my mind see this second timeline, and it's the timeline that what would have happened if Rob Thomas and iZombie never came along. And I promise you, if it was that I stayed in the UK, I would not be acting. If I had allowed my country to dictate that, I have more control in that, it would never have happened for me. So it's hard to reconcile that. It's hard to like kind of be like, well, why do I want to go back and get a UK agent and do what I don't want any part of it?
Yeah, well, I mean, in a roundabout kind of way, then I suppose you being able to be this kind of guinea pig without giving too much away in this film is almost like you getting your part in iZombie. You know, it's your chance to kind of prove yourself, no? which is kind of what happens in the film. No, was that something that you felt yourself kind of thinking about or kind of drawing on when you went into this role?
No, this job's really interesting, and it's kind of been difficult today to kind of sell, because I could lie and romanticize things and say, you know, I took this away and it changed my life and I felt all these and the truth of the matter was I didn't. It was a job. It was a very enjoyable job. And I spent a lot of time on this, and it came along at the right time. I was in the middle of doing Midnight Mass, which was a very difficult job, playing a character that was really far away from me, someone I had to constantly work to play, work to sound like, work. And you know, when Next Days it came along, it was an opportunity to be on the road, to stay in motels. I didn't want makeup, I didn't want hair. It was an opportunity to just go back to basics, to improv, to use my own voice, to just be kind of present in the moment. And I've been using this word, which isn't a negative, I'm saying it as a positive, but I was underprepared. And that in itself was a challenge for an actor, because preparation is where we get our confidence from. But I didn't want to be. I wanted to be free and loose with it. I wanted Teddy to feel real. So I didn't really do anything other than really strip the role down to basics. What are we doing today? Okay, obviously I read the scripts and I knew where I needed to be, but I didn't make choices in advance. I didn't have physical affectations or certain anything that actors would do. I just wanted to be present and lose. It was an exercise. I just wanted to cut all the fat off and give a real lean performance.
And I mean, the fact that you were British and the rest of the cast are all American, the fact that you were able to improvise, did that cause any kind of problems? Because obviously there is a little bit of a language barrier sometimes, you know, certain phrases and things that.
Well, I've been here for long enough. I did have that problem back in the day. I felt like for at least a year or two while I was in America, no one knew what I was saying. But since then, I've just learned to be a bit slower, and I couldn't make Americans laugh for a long time, and then I figured out how to. So unless they're still they're just faking it and I don't notice, but I've got a bit better at more inclusive humor and not just being like, oh, we're British, we're dry, that's what we do. Like, no, it's my audience. Like, I can't just do that, you know, otherwise just go back home. So yeah, no, it was great. And Katie's very funny and super responsive.
With the Give Me the Raps, I mean, I was just to finish off, I wanted to ask you one quick question. I know you can't say much about your next series with Mike, but I'm guessing that the facial hair fashion police will be after you again, no?
No, not on this one. No. I think this one will probably be more like it would be more celebrated. It's more conventional on this one. I didn't try anything too crazy.
I'm brilliant. But listen, thanks so much for your time. Like I said, it's the best film I've seen so far this year. I wish you the best of luck with it when it comes out on Friday, and I hope to speak to you again sometime soon.
Thank you, Howard. It's been a pleasure.
All right, cheers, mate. Nice to speak to you.
Cheers.
Take care.
I want my life to mean something. I don't want to hate life. I want to embrace what's next.
You practice that? You got like an Instagram handle for the afterlife?
What you do here still matters. You know that every time you disappear, another little piece of my heart breaks.
Lost everyone.
So? I never even had anyone.
But I did. I can't make it stop.
You can stop! I needed you!
I see it. This darkness. It's your sister.